Have you ever wished you could walk through life untouched? No sting from criticism, no ache from loss, no hollow after betrayal? Maybe you're exhausted from holding up the strong mask while something silent gnaws inside. Here's a truth most people dodge. As long as you run from pain, pain runs your life. The shield you raise to protect your heart becomes the chain that binds it. Carl Jung captured it in one sentence. We are not what happens to us, but what we choose to become. Real resilience isn't icy indifference, it's radical self-knowledge. When you recognize every bleeding part of yourself, the world can press against the wound without deciding who you are. If you clicked on this video, you probably feel cornered by other people's words, silences, or betrayals. It seems they hold power you'll never match. But what hurts is not the act itself. It is the raw place the act touches. An insult slices only where a hidden cut already exists. Until that cut is examined, any passerby can reopen it. That's why two people can face the same storm and leave with different stories. One clear-eyed, the other shattered. The difference isn't the storm. It's the terrain it lands on. Deep down, you may believe that if you work hard enough to be kind, clever, or invincible, no one will dare hurt you. That's the illusion of control, and it keeps you tense, scanning the horizon for threats that will always arrive. Freedom starts once you admit you control nothing out there. Everything external draws its strength from an echo inside you. The real battlefield is largely unconscious. Jung warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Right now, your fate is the automatic fight, flight, or freeze that follows an old script you never wrote. Stop for a moment and notice where your shoulders tighten, where your stomach knots. That is the script speaking through muscle and breath. It whispers, don't trust, don't relax, stay ready. Then it sabotages opportunities for love, creativity, and rest, because staying guarded feels safer than stepping into the unknown. Whenever you ghost a friend, procrastinate a dream, or lash out at someone who cares, you are watching that old program run your day. Unprocessed memories, abandoned desires, and buried fears swirl beneath awareness, tugging on every thought. They speak through anger, unexplained sadness, and relationships that replay the same painful scene. You call it bad luck. It is your psyche asking to be noticed. Most people respond by building higher walls. I don't care anymore. But numbness is not mastery. The problem isn't feeling. The problem is not understanding what you feel and why. Pretending you're untouched just pushes the chaos underground, where it grows teeth. The escape route is not defense. It is integration. When you turn toward your shadow, fear, jealousy, shame, and claim it as part of you, those forces stop hijacking your life. You become whole, not perfect. Jung called the journey individuation, a meeting of light and darkness that forges an authentic self. Once embraced, your shadow can no longer be weaponized against you. Critics may still speak, lovers may still leave, yet nothing inside you splinters, because every fragment has a seat at the table. So the question is not how to harden yourself, but how to know yourself. In the next part, we'll explore practical tools, active imagination, shadow journaling, conscious confrontation, to turn pain into power. Drop a comment today about the pattern you're ready to break. From a young age, we're taught to fear pain. Crying is weakness, feeling deeply is dangerous. So we run, we hide, we distract ourselves. But the more we avoid suffering, the more it transforms. It returns as anxiety, frustration, numbness, or self-sabotage. Suppressed pain doesn't vanish. It waits, digging tunnels in the dark, until one day it erupts without warning. If you find this helpful, and this is resonating with you, don't forget to click the subscribe button so you won't miss new videos, coming every other day. Your support truly means a lot. Thank you. Carl Jung saw pain not as failure, but as a message. He called it the language of the soul. Depression, he said, is like a lady in black. If she appears, don't shoo her away. Invite her in, offer her a seat, and listen to what she has to say. But most of us don't listen. We drown her out with noise, busyness, and pretending. Why does it hurt so much? Because you're still at war with yourself. One part of you wants to grow, to evolve. Another part clings to the familiar, even if it's killing you. That tension is where pain lives, in the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be. Change is painful. Letting go of old beliefs, cutting ties that no longer serve you, accepting that something has to end, that's grief. But within that grief lies transformation. When everything you thought defined you collapses, when you're stripped bare, no masks, no roles, no image to uphold, you finally meet yourself, not the version others expect, not the one crafted to survive, but the one beneath it all. That's when suffering becomes sacred, it humbles you, and in that humility, something real begins. Individuation, as Jung described it, is the process of becoming whole. Not perfect, but whole. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about reclaiming the parts of you that were buried, rejected, or hidden. The anger you suppress, the shame you deny, the sadness you downplay. These are not your enemies. They are fragments of you waiting to be seen. To become untouchable doesn't mean you no longer feel. It means you no longer fear your own depths. You've faced the fire. You've stood in front of your own darkness and said, I see you. You don't control me anymore. That kind of strength can't be faked. And here's the paradox. The stronger you become internally, the less you need to prove anything to the outside world. You no longer crave constant validation. You don't need to win every argument or appear unbreakable. You simply are. Real emotional strength doesn't come from building walls. It comes from building awareness, from knowing what wounds still ache, what patterns still repeat, and where your triggers live. That clarity becomes your shield. You still feel pain, but it doesn't consume you. You still face loss, but you don't lose yourself. This journey into yourself can be lonely, not because you're isolated, but because few people are willing to go that deep. Most stay on the surface, masked, distracted, afraid to feel. But once you start living with honesty, you outgrow the places where you once hid. The distance that grows isn't rejection, it's growth. The final truth is this: nothing outside you can destroy you if you understand what's happening within you. The real power lies not in avoiding pain, but in facing it with open eyes. Because once you stop running, once you stop pretending, you don't just survive, you begin to live. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one.